Hi, it's me again. This is a real short video demo that is probably almost pointless to most folks, but I know myself in growing African violets, everything seems really obvious after that first person is showing you how they do it. So this is just a quick demo while I'm doing some production on melting holes in the cups I use in my plant room. I'm at the studio today, so there's not a lot of violets around us today. Um, I use a soldering iron. Um, and when I do a lot of cups, I try to set some time aside just to do it, bucket loads of them. So uh, this morning I will have done 480 of the 3 ounce solo bathroom cup that I just buy at the local grocery store because they're so cheap. Lately, with my propagation boost, I'll probably go through 400, maybe 400 cups in a couple weeks. Um, these small 1 ounce solo cups, along with the 12 ounce and the 16 ounce kind of deli containers and lids that I melt holes in to use as a wicking reservoir, I buy online from like a bulk restaurant supply house, or sometimes I buy them from eBay. I try to buy a fair amount all at once so I can make the most of shipping charges, but they usually come pretty fast. So I just recently bought, I think, 2,000 of the little 1 ounce cups. Um, I have grown fond of these P100 Solo brand 1 ounce cups. There are other 1 ounce cups that are broader, more sloping, and probably half as wide, which just don't serve me as well. These fit in my little white trays that I get from Novacell perfectly, as do the 3 ounce cups. So I prefer this specific Solo brand 1 ounce cup, a P100. Um, and then I bought this time 12 ounce and 16 ounce containers. The lids are the same for either the 8, 12, 16, or 32. For my shells, 32 raised the plants up too high towards the lights, and 8 ounces doesn't seem to get me a lot of advantage. I'm still refilling the reservoirs so often, so I use mostly 12 ounce and 16 ounce cups. So I'll show you quickly, and I would, I don't have the door open right now, but just for the noise, but I would generally do this in a fairly ventilated spot. This is just a cheap soldering iron I got at the hardware store for like $6 or $7, and it has worked for me for years. So I used to take several at a time, and I'll show you that. I used to take 2 at a time or 3 at a time and just go like that. But then I found as I set them off to the side that when I was transplanting or potting, they'd almost get welded together. And so I was spending too much time fussing with pulling them apart when I was potting, that I now take like 3 or 4 in my hand. I just pull the top one off, do the quick, I make 2 holes just like that. I set it on top, I take the next one, make 2 holes. It's kind of tedious, especially when I'm doing, a few thousand pots in the morning. But in the end, it would be more tedious for me if I was having to stress, as I used to, trying to almost pry apart 2 simple plastic solo cups especially. I'll show you, and I'll reach over here and get some of those 3 ounce bathroom cups. I do the same thing. I just do 2 holes so that when I miss kind of the bottom a little, I just do another hole. That wouldn't bother me. You want to be conscious of where that tip of that soldering iron is going, and I haven't burned myself, but if you're new to this, I might wear gloves or keep a bowl of water quite handy. If you find that you lose your hand on the cup, just fling it to the floor. Don't risk going for it. It's a cheap cup and there's no point to it. I know online a lot of people speak about referring to their reservoir tops, these deli cup tops, as being drilled, and I guess maybe they are really drilling them with a power drill. I can't imagine how that would work, so I just use the same technique for this. I try to put them equal distant on the outer edge so that my wick can go in one, because again, the holes in my pot I'm going to set on top of this. The holes will be on the edge of the pot. So the wick will go in here, and I'll kind of scoot it over so I can refill the reservoir from my watering can in this hole without having to move the plant. So I'll just take this, push it through, and let it go through to this bigger part, turn it around, and then I just kind of set it over there. I kind of make a pile of them, and you can see there's a fair amount of plastic smoke, so don't do this if you're in a small confined space. Just be smart about it. And I just go through and kind of, usually I have the music cranking and the dog's fast asleep next to me, and we just go to town on that. So I will do this morning probably 3,000 or 4,000 cups or pots, and that should hold me for the reservoirs for a fair amount of time because they're not an expendable. The pots, I'll go through a lot of the 3-ounce pots, and then I use this for propagating any miniature violets, semi-miniature violets, or when I pull off any suckers, I usually start them in these cups as well. Again, because they fit in those white Novacell trays you've seen on the website, the BarringtonViolets.org website, that are only like $2.50 with shipping, maybe $3.25, $3.50 a tray, and they just work well for me. Okay, good luck.